Interesting that you seem to take a observational standpoint, kind of a distance from that belief system or cultural practice. Is that something that you've, I guess, deliberately taken a position on, or is it something that you kind of experimented with or dived in? I know you've obviously have experienced this culture for many a time. You've written a book on it, which we're going to get to. You've had a husband who's obviously from here, and et cetera, et cetera. So you're kind of integrated as much as you can be as a Westerner, but it seems like there's still a distance between you and the religion here, or at least the cultural practices. Would that be fair to say?
Oh, absolutely, yes. There's a difference because I'm not Balinese, although there was a time in my life when I would have loved to be Balinese, but it's not possible to become Balinese. I think even Javanese would have trouble becoming Balinese. Unless you are born into the culture and have the very earliest rights and upbringing within a Balinese family, it's not possible. And I came here fully formed. I was in my early 30s when I first came here. And I was very formed as well because I was an artist. I had struggled to build up a faculty of discrimination of things. I had very uh, strong values about art and creativity and what was expected of me in life. And it was, I was like a finished Western person. And then, of course, I loved all of that being challenged, being in Bali, and I was fascinated by the challenge. But the distance is a natural one. I can empathize with it. I can make things up inside it, but um, I'm very much who I am in, a product of the West.
I ask because I'm fascinated with the dichotomy and the balance between nature and nurture, and also religion and its geographies. Because one then might not be able to move to a certain place, fully integrate them, spend more of their life in one place than not in that place, try to understand and immerse themselves in either a cultural religion or the blurred lines in between, and not necessarily feel like they can become that. So when you think about Balinese Hinduism, the kind of external um the immersification of people into that religion is almost non-existent. So therefore you could only be that religion if you're born here. Does that make any sense?
I think I know what you mean. At the same time, I have to say that in the beginning, when I was first here, say the first 20 years that I was here, I took part in the religion and I was really immersed in it. I did everything I could to understand it and to take part in it because it's a very experiential religion. It's very much about doing things.
Ritualistic and
Yes,
experiences, yeah.
yes, it's the ritual. It's a behavior in it's the right behavior in the right environment, whether it's in a temple or in the rice fields or at home or whatever it is. That kind of huge context was very easy to absorb in my early days here in the 1980s when you're living really very very close to the ground and in the midst of the weather, in the midst of nature, and everything else is, it's easy. Uh, this idea of the invisible world, it was almost tangible in those days. Now it's hard. Now it's hard to get a sense of, uh, oh, this is a populated space. Mostly we feel the presence of other people and the presence of ideas and constructions, buildings. The invisible world, to me, has sort of retracted a bit, perhaps. Or, I mean, for me anyway.
Why? I mean, is that a a byproduct of more distractions and more um differences, more cultural differences coming into the space?
I think that's certainly part of it. I think just the fact of construction is a big factor. When you pave over the family courtyard, the ground behaves differently. Um, it's the same place, but the nature of the place has changed. Not that I'm at all a mystic, but I think that what goes through the earth and comes up through the ground, it runs faster when it's not covered with cement or tiles or whatever it is. When you take down big trees, um, whatever has been inhabiting that tree moves. It can be bugs, it can be birds, it can be ghosts. Uh, and so the place changes. And I think if you ask a very young Balinese person what they feel around uh, a holy place or something else, I have no idea how they would answer. Just no idea. I know for people my age, it's a pity they've renovated this temple. It was fine before, they'd say.
That wouldn't be allowed in other religions, would it? I mean, if you demolished a mosque, let's say, and built over that, there would be world war. Is that true to say? I mean, why are Balinese so um, not forgiving but welcoming and very calm about those types of things, and very almost equanimous with that type of behavior or those types of externalities impacting their culture?
I think it might be because they're very confident about what the cosmos is, very self confident in who they are and what their place is in it. And it's not easily jostled by ugly buildings or too many people. I mean, some people are getting more irritable when uh, when they see their their land changing, or they're very touchy about desecration too, but not as much as Indonesian Muslims. There's a great deal of tolerance. I think they're profoundly stable at a certain point in themselves.